Ashy Knuckles on site at the Arena Theater in Houston at the high stakes event where I ran into world-class trainer Jeff Mayweather. Jeff, what's going on?
Not too much.
All right, your fighter Mickey Bey put on a brilliant performance. What is your assessment of that fight?
Well, I think that situation, Mickey was a little sick going into the fight, but actually he performed real well. I mean, and he gave up weight because actually that's not his weight class. He fights at 130 pounds. But actually, he dug down and fought with everything that he had. But the guy that was in front of him was very, very durable. And but he won victorious. He won every single round, and also dropped the guy. So I mean, it was a good performance.
Right. Mickey Bey came out establishing a good, solid jab. He started picking his shots really well when he saw the openings, and he put the guy down. But it seemed like once he got him hurt, he started looking for that one-punch power.
Right.
Is that something that you were working on in camp, or did he kind of get outside the game plan?
No, I think he got a little bit outside of the game plan. But one thing with Mickey is a very, very good puncher for a guy his size. And most of the time when Mickey hits a guy clean, as many times they hit this guy clean, they usually cooperate. You know, they usually go. But for some reason, this guy was in tremendous shape and he was ready to fight. I mean, of course he wasn't on Mickey's level, but it was a good test for him because these are the type of fights that down the road he's gonna face guys that's gonna be durable like that, and he's gonna have to learn to make adjustments as the fight goes on.
Exactly. The guy was very durable. Mickey showed his ability to adapt to a situation he's probably never used to seeing before, as the guy was able to endure the onslaught from Mickey Bey. But the victory brings him to 14-0 with 7 KOs. About how many times are you looking to put him in the ring to close out the 2009?
Well, unfortunately, he got a headbutt in the last round, so that's gonna probably keep him off for at least another month or so. But our intentions was to try to fight at least 3 times before the year was out. You know, to try to get his record up to at least about 17-0. That way, you know, he can get in the top 10 in these organizations and be able to move on and, you know, eventually fight for a world championship.
Absolutely. He is a rising lightweight prospect. He has a tremendous skill set. I see a lot of guys probably looking to duck him and not give him an opportunity. But in saying that, is there anybody within the division that you have your eyes set on for Mickey, or are you taking it on a fight-by-fight basis, looking to finally, you know, get into the top 5 for a world title challenge in the future?
Basically, I think Mickey's the type of talent that he's not going to get a title shot by just making it to the top 10. He's a guy who's going to actually have to get to the mandatory spot. He's going to have to get to the #1 spot, I think, before he's challenged against anyone. But I think that he can do it. I think that it's just a matter of, you know, hopefully we don't get any more setbacks from headbutts or anything like that, or injuries or anything. And he'll be able to stay on course and stay on pace. And I think that sometime next year, probably the middle of next year, you'll probably see him fighting for a world title.
All right. Change the subject for a moment. It was recently reported that you are now the new head trainer for Caballero, world champion at 122 pounds. What's your assessment of that fighter, and how's he looking?
Well, basically, as of right now, nothing's really official.
Okay.
I mean, I have been approached. I was approached by his cousin, Miguel Calise, who's also a fighter. And basically, he asked me would I train his cousin. He said that he was going to get in touch with his cousin Caballeros and the management. But they did contact me, and I sent them a contract, and the contract haven't came back yet. But it's not the fight that he's not really going to fight until I think sometime next year. So I don't think it's really a rush situation in which, you know, for us to close the deal. But I mean, basically, you know, if they're happy with the contract, basically, which is I ask for a standard contract of 10% of the fighter's purse. And basically, if they're happy with that, I mean, it's a done deal. And pretty much, I think that he probably won't be coming to camp to Las Vegas for probably until November. But that'll give me plenty of time to work with him and get him sharp.
All right. You know, I got to touch bases with you about your nephew, who's coming off a dominant performance over Juan Manuel Marquez. What is your assessment of your nephew Floyd, and did you see anything he can do better, or did you just think it was just a brilliant display for someone who's been off for almost 2 years?
Well, I mean, I think that it was a brilliant display. I mean, for someone who's been off for 2 years, or someone that's still been active. I think that it was just a brilliant performance. I think that, you know, he separated himself from everyone in the way that he defeated Marquez, because Marquez is still not, you know, he's definitely not on the level of Floyd, but it's the same guy who actually beat Manny Pacquiao at least one out of the 2 fights.
Right.
Everybody jumped on Manny's bandwagon, but what did you say now? I mean, but then you have certain people that it's a situation where no matter what my nephew does, he's never going to get credit, because there's always a situation and a reason why he was able to beat that guy.
Right.
You know, I mean, even with the Pacquiao situation, if it evolves, of course, Pacquiao's too small, just like they claim Marquez was. But Marquez asked for him. He didn't ask for Marquez.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Marquez got the biggest pay of his life. So, I mean, of course, he was more than happy to fight Floyd. You know, and I mean, but yet, I mean, he got dominated. It looked like, you know, one guy was a professional, one guy was an amateur.
Okay.
You know, but he was a world-class fighter, still currently a world champion. You know, and I mean, that's the one thing that, you know, a situation where Floyd would never get credit. I mean, just like Shane, you know, being up there acting classless, you know, basically begging for, you know, the opportunity to fight. You know, Floyd never ran from Shane.
Right.
So he still ain't running from Shane. But it's a situation, the tables have turned. When Shane was pound for pound the best fighter in the world, Floyd wanted to fight him.
And he wouldn't fight Floyd.
And he wouldn't give him the opportunity.
That's right.
So, I mean, now the tables have turned. I mean, Shane's 38 years old, just came out of a divorce. So, I mean, of course, I mean, and everyone knows that a divorce, you know, it's a lot of money at stake. You know? And I mean, he probably lost half of his money.
Right.
You know, but I mean, he's still...
Have a safe trip back. I'm sorry.
But I mean, at the same time, I mean, I still, you know, I mean, Shane's made great money in this sport of boxing.
Right.
And of course, I mean, he's looking to cash out. I mean, just like he was saying that he would drop down to 140 pounds to fight Manny Pacquiao, which would be a huge mistake.
Right.
You know, but I mean, but you know, it seemed like a sign of desperation, because I mean, to me, Shane was out of character. I mean,
right.
I mean, he's a guy that I have tremendous respect for, the utmost respect for, because I mean, he's always a classy guy. But
exactly.
I mean, what he did on that night, you know, that didn't seem like it was Shane Mosley. It seemed like it was a situation that probably was, you know, staged, not necessarily staged, but, you know, preempted by maybe him and Bernard together.
Right.
You know, just, and probably, like I said, with the situation of him knowing that he's 38 years old and the opportunity won't be there. If Floyd don't give him an opportunity now, it'll never exist.
Right.
You know, and so it's a situation where, I mean, you have a guy that's, you know, basically ready to cash in,
mm-hmm.
you know, and I'm necessarily saying he's ready to retire, but I mean, he knows that, you know, Floyd's the biggest pay that he's going to get,
right.
Floyd or Manny Pacquiao, you know, and so, and unfortunately for Shane, I mean, even though he's put together a great career and had some great wins, he still never became an attraction
That's
in
right.
the sport of boxing. So he always needs someone, and now he's in a situation where he needs Floyd or he needs Manny Pacquiao to secure that big payday he's looking for.
All right.
You know, and basically, I mean, you know, I mean, it's a situation where I guess that, you know, I mean, he has to just wait on Floyd. But at the end of the day, like I said, even if Floyd beats him,
mm-hmm.
he's not going to get credit for it. The first thing they're going to say is that
too
Shane was
old.
too old. I
And
mean,
if he beats Pacquiao be too small.
Pacquiao's too small. He
Well,
beats
in
Cotto.
saying that,
No, I'm gonna even go further.
Okay.
Because if he beats Cotto, who may be Pacquiao,
right.
they're gonna say he's been in too many wars. He's been in too many wars and he's too slow. But then the only option that they have left then is Paul Williams. But there's also an excuse for that. He went up too high in weight and he tried to kill himself
Right,
back
to make
down.
weight.
So it's one of those situations where no matter what my nephew do, he's not gonna get full credit for what he does. So I mean, it's one of the situations where, you know, I wrote an article myself about that situation. I think that it's a situation where he won't be fully appreciated until his career's over with, and maybe his belts have grown dust on him for
right.
you know, him being retired 10 years, and then there are going to be people that's going to say, look, this guy was great, and you know, and they're going to sit back and they're going to show their kids that, hey, look, I took a picture with this guy, you know, or he signed my autograph or something like that. They're going to be a part of, you know, a part of history that, you know, when it's all over with and done, that, you know, when his career comes to a close, it don't necessarily have to end with him being undefeated,
right? Because
that doesn't justify you being a great fighter. But I mean, it's just the way that, you know, watching him from when he was a baby, you know, until what he grew up to be, and to become the best fighter in the world. I mean, it's amazing to me. But also at the same time, it's a situation where, you know, he's too good right now to get the credit that he deserves.
Right.
And basically, like I said,
It's
maybe
unfortunate.
10, 20 years from now, Floyd will be appreciated.
All right. Well, Jeff, I definitely appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing more of you with Mickey Bey. And hopefully Celestino Caballero will go ahead and sign that contract. I think you can do wonders with his skill set. Hey, we'll look to see you in the future, bro.
All right,
Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
All right.